Hello, everyone. This is John Howell here. So we've got a little bit of a rally going on with the indices right now. Also, a nice strong rally out of the mining sector as well, too, in gold and silver. The mining sector is actually a bit of an iffy one. I really want to share something with you there. And also, I do believe right now, guys, this is a bit of a sucker rally, especially in the tech sector, and why I believe there's probably more of a pullback to come out of that sector there. Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders, see that trading course on the screen. I'm giving away free membership access to that trading course. That's that second link in the description there, guys. If you are looking for some help, then make sure you grab that there. So let's actually start off with the good old Microsoft. I was thinking about Microsoft because I was just looking at Microsoft just before this recording. So good old Nasdaq right now. So Nasdaq actually had a little bit of a short-term rally today, a little bit of a rally today. And here is the thing, guys, that is really important to understand about the markets itself, right? Even though I do expect to see a pullback out of the markets, the market can go on a little bit more that, like, I don't know exactly when the top's going to be. Okay. So I do believe we're going to start to see that pullback in the markets. I just don't know when exactly that the top's going to be, right? Is it going to be here, or are we going to do something like this and then roll over? Makes sense. But I do see where we are right now. We have a movement down into around about, say, that August period through there, right? That's just going to give a nice, good sell-off through here. The purpose of me saying that is what a lot of traders, or some traders, are probably thinking right now: I better get in right now to capitalize on the next move up. But if we do have a little bit more move up, you're trying to capitalize on that last 10, maybe 20% of what moves happen, right? Because if you have a look at a move, if this is 0, right, and then this is 100 up here, right? What a lot of traders do is that they'll wait to the 80% level there, and they try to get in here and try to capture that last little move before what? Before we actually start to see a bit of a pullback out of it, right? So that's what we want to be really sort of cautious of with what's happening right now, is that we are getting that little push to the upside, and we may get a little bit more to the upside. But the whole thing about the pullback that I see coming is that you never know exactly when the top's going to be, but I do see from now through to August, we're probably likely to see a really good pullback out of the tech sector. And if you have a look at the tech sector, right? So let's have a look at, I'll have a look at Microsoft. Same with Microsoft, right? So Microsoft has had a little, just a down bar today. You can see Microsoft actually sort of rounding top formation, as you can see, up, rounding top, and then down, and then a small little up bar today. So I do see more downside coming out of Microsoft. If we have a look at things like Apple, right? Apple, you can see Apple had a small little update today as well too. So nice little small little update today on Apple. But again, I do see it being at that resistance over there. We're probably likely to start to see this thing start to roll over soon. And again, guys, all I'm calling for is just as a nice healthy pullback out of the markets, right? Just a nice healthy pullback, and this is what we're probably going to start to see over the next couple of months out of the tech sector. If we have a look at NVDA, Nvidia, same sort of thing, right? It's just we've had such a big up move in the tech sector that we are very close, if we haven't already started, to see that pullback. And again, once again, if we start to see like possibly a pullback into around about that August level before we start to see something like that, right? So that's what we want to be keeping an eye on for when it comes to that the whole tech sector through there. I may be off with my exact timing when it comes to the pullback. We may have a little bit more upside to come, but we are at that last 10, maybe 20% of that move. We may be there right now when it comes to, the Nasdaq. But again, I wouldn't want to try to be buying it here. Because it's we're probably due for a pullback. Wait for a bit of a pullback over the next month or so. We will get the pullback, and then that's probably going to be a really good buying opportunity from there. Now let's go have a look at the S&P 500. And the one thing I've been talking about with the S&P 500 here is I've been saying about this 50% level. Now I did say in yesterday's update that I was actually expecting to see this thing drop. but it didn't, right? It actually is still holding 50% of this bar here, right? So what I was saying yesterday is that if we do a Fibonacci level on the actual bar itself, so you can see here on the bar itself, all these lows are holding the 50% level. The big key there is that I was seeing yesterday is like, we're probably going to get a bit of a follow through, but we didn't. We actually held the 50% still, and then we had a small little up move there. So we still haven't actually broken that 50% level, which actually is showing a bit of short-term strength in the S&P. So again, I was actually expecting a little pullback first, and then maybe continuation to the upside. I've always seen the S&P 500 making an all-time high by the end of this year. That's that big picture there, right? But the short-term picture is that, again, I wouldn't be too surprised to start to see possibly like a bit of a short-term, possibly like a bit of a drop out of the S&P, but we're not there yet, right? We haven't got confirmation yet. What we need to see is we'll need to see this S&P 500 start to close above. If we start to get a close below this 4,260 level, right? Then that's what's going to probably start to see this pullback here. But we're still holding that level there. So let's look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones doing the exact same thing, right? The exact same thing with the Dow Jones. If I look at the 50% level, from that low to high of this big up move, I was saying that this 50% level needs to break to the downside in order for it to go down. But look what's happened. It actually came down, held 50%, and now look what's happened. We're actually getting a strong move up. So we may be getting ready for a little bit more move to the upside. We're not there yet for a big move. Oh, we could be, right? But we're not there yet. We need a little bit more time. So again, the overall Dow Jones movement is very, 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 very sideways. So there's really no trend. We're not making good trends up, good trend down. So I would actually expect a lot more volatility, especially coming over the next couple of months. I would actually expect a lot more volatility coming into that market there. Let's go have a look at the GDX through here. And the GDX right now is actually possibly developing a lower high. What we need out of the GDXJ, is we need to see something like this. We need to see a very strong up bar breaking above that resistance level there. If we can get that, then we're off to the races for another move to the upside. If not, and we get a break to the downside there like that, then we may be getting ready for a move on the downside through there. Now, shorting this market right now would be very, very risky, but we're developing a short-term little downward trend through here. So we may be getting ready for a rollover, but we want to see the mining sector really have a big up bar, breaking past that resistance level to possibly start that next move up from there. Move over now through to the GDX, and the same thing, right? We're getting this overall sideways movement from here, okay? If I bring on my short-term little moving average, we're getting this sideways movement from here. That's actually not a good sign. We want to see this thing really start to, we're actually going sideways through here. We really want to see this thing start to do something like this, like a big up bar like that, a real big, strong, solid up bar like that. That's what I'm actually seeing for the GDX on that as well too. So we really want to see this thing here. The big picture when we're looking at these weekly charts is we're still in these higher lows. So this could just still be a very short-term pullback. We have this low. We have a high low. This still could overall be a strong higher low on that weekly chart. And what we're seeing right now on the daily chart, or this is the weekly chart here, if we go back to the daily chart, what this could be is just a short-term little sideways movement before we start to see something like that again as well too. Moving on now through to the silver market. It's a nice little up bar on the silver price. Really strong up bar. That's actually a really strong bounce off that level through there. For the silver bugs out there, we really want to see silver continue. We actually had a nice little strong break above that level there. We want to see silver stay above that level there, okay? If for indeed silver starts to get like a strong close below, if we retrace all of this bar here, so if we get from there to there, if we retrace all of that bar there, then what's probably likely to happen is we're probably likely to see a bit more downside to come out of silver. I don't expect too much of a downside out of silver, because just looking at these weekly charts once again, we can see we have a low, a significant higher low. This could just be another significant higher low before away we go as well too, which I do believe is what we're seeing through there. Now moving on now through to gold as well too. We're getting the same sort of thing. Looking at that weekly charts, low, higher low, and a higher low. So any of this sort of short-term downward movement out of gold right now, I do believe it's probably going to be short-lived because we're going to get low, right? And then we're probably going to see that big move up to the upside. So there we go, guys. There's still possibly a lot of short-term strength coming into the mining sector. S&P 500 and the Dow Jones right now are still holding strong at that 50% level of the bar, but the tech sector is still in that bubble. And if we do get any upside movement, it's probably only likely to be a very short-term basis before we see this really good pullback over the next couple of months.